First at 5, a tropical system causing rough surf and heavy rain along the coast of the Carolinas. Video on the left of your screen showing major flooding in Carolina Beach, North Carolina. And then on your right, that's a live look from Myrtle Beach.
As the system pushes inland, we're expected to experience some of the rain and the wind. That is why a live Super Doppler impact weather day has been issued for tomorrow.
Chief Meteorologist Chris Justice joining us at the desk now. Chris, how much rain are we talking for our area?
Anywhere from a half an inch west of Greenville to 2 inches in Spartanburg, but some areas in North Carolina had 18 today.
Wow, I heard you say that.
Get this, they're going to get another 12 tonight into tomorrow. Yeah, devastating flooding, a 1 in 1,000-year flood for parts of Wilmington northbound through Carolina Beach. They're no strangers to these kind of impacts here the past several years. It's this fire hydrant type engine of just rain, just putting the hose right here on these areas where it's just coming in and over again, because the track of this is inland like this. Now, it's not a tropical system, and it likely will never get those kind of characteristics. It's just a regular old low, but that doesn't mean it's not potent here, folks. Let me show you the track of this low. Similar to a tropical system, it's moving inland and will do so over the next 24 hours. You can see those warnings in the green boxes right here, where those areas are going to continue to get that onslaught of rain coming inland right here. Here at home, we've got clouds, we've got rain, and have Greenville eastbound throughout most of the day today. Some drizzle, some light rain here and there. That's done a number on temperatures. Let me show you that, because in Anderson, where the sun has peeked through those clouds, it is tremendously warmer. Look at that, 74 in Anderson compared to 67 in Greenville, compared to 61 in Spartanburg. You can see where the clouds have been more plentiful today, and therefore the cooler temperatures. It's also really windy. Sustained winds 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusting at times to 30 miles per hour. Let me show you the 12-hour forecast. We've got temperatures that'll dip down to the low 60s tonight, with rain becoming more likely midnight and thereafter. Coming up, I'll show you the impacts to your morning commute and what the rest of the week looks like.
Chris, thank you. A second assassination attempt targeting former President Donald Trump. Now, a 58-year-old man is facing federal charges.
Ryan Routh made his first court appearance in Florida this morning. He was arrested yesterday after authorities say they spotted a firearm poking out of shrubbery on the West Palm Beach golf course where Trump was playing.
The Martin County Sheriff's Office released body camera video today showing the moment Ralph was taken into custody. Authorities are investigating a motive. They say the former president walked away unharmed. And
in an update just about 30 minutes ago, authorities say the suspect was the subject of a closed 2019 investigation. The FBI says it got a tip about Ralph illegally having a gun.
National investigative correspondent John Carnell has more on the suspect's extensive criminal background.
That's Ryan Wesley Routh standing outside the U.S. Capitol more than a year ago. The picture from a LinkedIn post where Routh also posted a picture of himself in Ukraine's capital. A self-proclaimed human rights and political activist, Routh lived in North Carolina most of his life, working as a contractor and owning a roofing business. He moved to Hawaii in 2018, where he owns a business with one of his sons that builds storage units and tiny houses. In Hawaii, Routh was active on Twitter, writing in his profile, quote, "I feel lucky to have been born in America with freedom and opportunity, and hope that I do not waste such a valuable thing." The National Investigative Unit recovered hundreds of posts from his now removed account, some in 2020 showing he was supporting Bernie Sanders, another tweet saying he supported Donald Trump in 2016. His voting record shows he's unaffiliated, and in recent years, his social media posts support Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. On X, Routh once invited North Korean leader Kim Jong-un to come on vacation in Hawaii in hopes of building a friendly bond between the dictator and Americans. More recently, he publicly tried to recruit volunteer soldiers to go overseas. His phone line for recruits still active.
Sending soldiers to Ukraine as well as Taiwan. If you'd like to volunteer, please send me a message.
Routh went to Ukraine in 2022 to aid in its defense against Russia's invasion. But Ukraine's International Legion confirmed with CNN Routh was never part of the military there or a confirmed volunteer. Long before his arrest Sunday in Florida, Routh had a deep criminal history dating back to 1998. In 2002, he faced firearm charges, including one charge of possessing a weapon of mass destruction, which a local newspaper article said was a machine gun during a traffic stop and standoff. However, 11 years prior in 1991, Routh won a law enforcement Oscar and was regarded as a super citizen for helping catch a suspected rapist and aiding with the investigation.
That was National Investigative Correspondent John Cardinale. Now, that was from Washington, D.C. Questions are mounting about the Secret Service. President Biden is calling on Congress to give more resources to the agency. Coming up later in our newscast, a live report on the response from lawmakers already investigating the first attempted assassination against the former president.
Breaking news coming out of Charlotte and the sports world today. The Carolina Panthers announced that former first overall draft pick and starting quarterback Bryce Young has officially been benched.
The move comes following a 0-2 start to the season in which Young has yet to throw a touchdown pass.
Our Chase Justice joins us now with more about this big move. Chase, is this something that Panthers fans expected, that anyone expected?
Well, Sydney and Nigel, following Sunday's 26-3 loss against the Chargers, head coach Dave Canales echoed the fact that Bryce Young is their guy, and no move would be made regarding the starting quarterback spot. But just a day later, Panthers brass has seemingly had a change of heart, sending the former first overall draft pick to the bench in favor of tried-and-true journeyman Andy Dalton. The move comes just 1 year following the team's decision to package 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and Pro Bowl wideout DJ Moore in exchange for the right to select Young with the top spot in the 2023 NFL Draft. But Young has struggled heavily since assuming the role as starting quarterback, winning just 2 games in 2023, and as of late has failed to throw a touchdown pass in 8 of the last 9 games. When Coach Canales was asked what role Panthers owner David Tepper might have had in the decision to bench Bryce Young, Canales said that he wanted to keep that information private. Now, we'll have plenty more on the move coming up later in sports.
Chase, thank you. A murder trial 8 years in the making started jury selection today.
John Blauvelt is charged with murder and possession of a weapon during a violent crime after his estranged wife was found stabbed to death in Simpsonville.
Our Peyton Furtado is live outside the Greenville County Courthouse, or inside. Peyton, what do we know so far?
Yeah, Nigel, I'm actually inside right now because court is still going on. It convened very, very early, very, very late today. They sent the jury home early today and asked them to come back again 9 a.m. Right now we have a lot of pretrial motions going on. A few things we can share with you that are on the record. Let's get into the actual facts of the case that we know. This all started back in 2016. 22-year-old Katie Blauvelt was found stabbed to death in an abandoned Simpsonville house a day after she'd been reported missing. Now, we just heard in court that apparently they had been separated about 4 days at this point. Soon after, her estranged husband, John Blauvelt, a former U.S. Army recruiter, fled with a 17-year-old girlfriend, Hannah Thompson. We're told by authorities at the time they were spotted near the Mexican border in California before Thompson returned to South Carolina, saying Blauvelt abandoned her. John Blauvelt was on the run for nearly 6 years until 2022 when he was found and arrested in Oregon. Now, again, court is going to come back tomorrow at 9 a.m. He is in the courtroom right now. We're going to bring you up-to-date information as it becomes available, perhaps as early as 6 o'clock. But for now, live in Greenville County, I'm Peyton Furtado for WYFF News 4.
Peyton, thank you. Turning now to Cherokee County, a 15-year-old is charged with murder after shooting at an apartment complex over the weekend. Police say it happened around 10:30 Saturday night near the Limestone Courts Apartments in Gaffney. The coroner says 41-year-old Kirsten Phillips was shot in the stomach after an argument. Phillips was taken to a hospital where she later died. According to police, the teen suspect is currently being held at the DJJ. A hearing will determine if he will be tried as an adult. Greenville County student Lionel Cervantes will be laid to rest this week. Authorities say the 8-year-old was reported missing last Thursday from Bells Crossing Elementary School. His body was found in a pond hours later. His funeral will take place tomorrow at the Thomas McAfee Funeral Home on Whitehorse Road. A visitation for friends and members of the community begins at 4 p.m. The funeral service beginning at 6 p.m. The family asks that no photographs or videos are taken inside the funeral home. There's also a GoFundMe set up to help cover the burial costs. You can find all of this information on our website on WYFF4.com.
All good here. That was the final text sent from the doomed crew of the Titan submersible before it imploded last summer while on an expedition to the Titanic. Today was the start of the Coast Guard's investigative hearings into the accident. 10 former Ocean Gate employees will testify over the next 2 weeks in North Charleston. The Coast Guard is looking into the cause of the implosion that killed all 5 people on board. Today, an Ocean Gate engineer testified that the Titan had been struck by lightning in the past and that a previous crack in the hull had been repaired, while he insisted the submersible be decommissioned because of the damage.
Taking a look now at the traffic conditions in the upstate. This is a live look at I-85 South at Airport Road in Spartanburg County. So far, so good for your Monday evening commute. Let's take a quick look at those drive times now. Wow, look at that. 153 to 385 in the green. 12-minute commute for you there if you're heading 85 northbound. 85 northbound, though, Woodruff Road to the airport, 12 minutes in the red. Downtown to Fairview Road in Simpsonville, all good, 14 minutes.
Next 12 hours show rain increasing across the area. 11 o'clock and beyond coming up. I'll show your impacts to your morning commute.
Right now, firefighters are working to contain intense flames shooting into the sky over a Houston suburb. A live look now from La Porte, Texas. Firefighters have called after an explosion rattled homes and businesses this morning. People nearby were told to shelter in place. Taking a look at video now, officials say 20-inch pipeline carrying natural gas liquids must burn itself out. It's not clear what caused the fire. Look at those flames. There are thankfully no reports of injuries at this time. Right now, an investigation is underway after 2 innocent bystanders were hurt in a police-involved shooting.
This happened yesterday at a New York subway station. Ida Siegel has the details.
An extensive NYPD investigation